You're watching Daylitor Knight. X is for exotics, and you are invited to hang out with me today as I drink one of these beautiful Budweiser Freedom Reserve red lagers that I've been looking for here in St. Louis, Missouri. They've been out for months, and they just now got it in my local supermarket. It's bullshit. This Anheuser-Busch is like right there. I mean, I don't get it. I'm in St. Louis, and it took us forever to get the actual beer they're brewing right here in St. Louis. So, whatever. There's a stink bug just flew by me. Whoa. It's not attracted to me. But I'm inviting you to come hang out with me while we drink a beer in this vlog. This is a very laid back one. And we're going to be talking about a lot of different things. I got tagged to do a Tarantula tag video, question and answer session from a good friend of mine, Doppelganger 1983, Peter. I'm here, I'm doing it. And also I got a request from Snake Man Mike. I'll put a link in the description to his channel. This guy's snakes are unbelievable. I'm liking this guy every time I watch a video. I don't get a chance to watch videos as much as I used to, but when I do, I try to watch bits and pieces here and there when I can. And I like his collection. I like his approach to his snakes. Everybody does things differently, so it's good to see how differently people do things. And he definitely has his own style. And so he requested to see my carpet pythons, my Jag female and my Bredli Coastal Cross male, and I will be showing those, even though the male is actually in shed in this video. So I might have to do a follow-up with this one for you, Snake Man Mike, so you can see him on his glory. He's about to shed. The Jag just shed when you requested this video, and I did some of the footage in this one. She's been in a little bit of a mood, so we'll see how that turns out. Also, I upgraded Rocket, my bearded dragon. Upgraded his enclosure. He's growing like a weed. I mean, I had him in the bio bubble and he just burst out of the thing. Now he's in his 20-gallon tank that I've had ready for him to go as soon as he got up to size to get into that one. So it's a little bit of what's going to be going on in this video. We're going to hop through it, but the bulk of this video will be the question and answer session from the Tarantula tag was asked of me. So let's hop into it. Sit back, grab yourself a drink, and enjoy Hump Day with Daylitor Knight X on this one. Let's get it. Going to start this video out with Rocket. He is my newest bearded dragon, which not so much new anymore. I've had him for a few months now, but he has settled into his new enclosure, which is a 20-gallon tank. I had him in a bio bubble before this, but he's growing a lot faster than my female Lucy did, and when she was this age. So this is his new enclosure, and just wanted to share it with you guys because this guy is growing like a weed. If you're not a reptile person, you're looking for an animal that resembles more of a dog or a cat, this is definitely one of the species I recommend in that regard. So this is Michonne. She is a female carpet python. She's a Jag. And this was requested from, again, as I said earlier in the video, from Snake Man Mike, who has a very good channel. I'll put a link into the description to his channel. Go and check him out, subscribe, and support him. He has a lot of good information, a lot of snakes in his collection, and he has a very good eye for beauty. Both of these carpet pythons I'm going to show in this video both came from star pythons, which are won in the reptile ring auction. So I only buy my carpets from, if I want to buy them, I try to stick with the same dealer, and I like star pythons as far as their pythons go. Obviously their carpets, I had no problem buying this one. This was the second one that I got. The Bredli Coastal Cross was the very first one that I got. I won in an auction, and I've had him almost a year now, and I got her a few months after I got him. So I would like to add a couple more. I'm not gonna have 10 carpet pythons, but I would like to have another female and another male in the future, because I'm starting to fall in love with carpet pythons, along with Snake Man Mike. And people, you guys know how much I love Boxing Boy. He's my buddy, and he's the reason why I started getting carpet pythons. And there's a few other ones out there that got me interested, like One Soft Kissed, was another one. Watching her videos on them, especially when it comes to the Bradleys. And there's a few other ones, but ultimately I try to do my own thing with them and with my snakes, because I have to be the one who takes care of them. So what you're seeing here is that I take them out in these tubs. These tubs are only for them to go outside or come upstairs if they want to interact. Otherwise, they have permanent glass enclosures downstairs in my reptile room, and they're in there most of the week. And most of the time, though, honestly, they prefer to be in these enclosures because I'm able to take them with me. And when the weather's nice like this, I don't go outside without my carpet pythons. I always bring them out with me if I'm sitting out there having a drink on my front porch. This is the front porch that they're on now, and I just let them. I take them both out at the same time. I take the lid off and just let them do their thing. And here's a little glimpse of the Bradley Coastal Cross cage. Her temperament, Michonne, when I first got her, she was a very laid-back carpet python, and we've had some adjustments in her behavior and how I interact with her. She's a little more feisty, especially when she's hungry. Now, she just shut out about 2 or 3 days before this footage, and she has not had a meal, so she's a little bit irritated. I feed both my carpets once a week, so I actually fed her right after I had her outside here. And I'll talk about the Bradley Coastal Cross in a second, about his feeding schedule right now. But for the most part, both of these guys eat very well and stay on schedule. She had a perfect, absolutely perfect shed, which means everything is cool. She actually shed out in this tub, so I like it for that. She has never not shed out in this tub, now that I think about it. Every single time I put her in here to go out, or I might, usually when I take her out, I'll leave her in here. When I bring her back in, she likes it a little bit better than the Bradley Coastal Cross. He tends to like the vivarium setup a little bit better. She likes very simple stuff. She has just now gotten to the point where she will sit up on this perch, this branch, this bamboo stick, because most of the time she's in her hide. And the Bradley Coastal Cross was the one who always was out on her branches, but she is finally warmed up to me enough where she is actually coming out, and she'll sit like this, because normally she's trying to turn my head off. She normally doesn't do this. She's always trying to snap at me in some kind of way, but I've been working with her a lot, especially outdoors, and it's been paying huge dividends. Now this guy here is the Bradley Coastal Cross Anakin, again from Star Pythons. This is a male. He's actually in shed in this video. He is not in a deep shed, but he just went into it right when Snake Man Mike requested to see these guys. And it's unfortunate, because I would have liked for him to come out and be hanging on his bamboo stick as well. But at the same time, his when he gets like this, I can tell he's about to go in shed when he's like this, because most of the time he's roaming around. He's never ever down in his enclosure like this, except when he's going to shed. So I knew he was going to shed as soon as I saw it, and he's been like down in this corner for a while. Downstairs, this is where the warmest spot in his enclosure is, about right here. He's not a huge hide user, except for when he goes in the shed. And unfortunately, right after this video, he has gone into his hide and he has not come out, which means he's about to shed. He does it like clockwork. So I have to do a follow-up vid to show you just how beautiful he actually is. He's actually much larger in this video than what he's looking like right now, but he hasn't had a meal in about a week and a half in this video, so he's a little content. But he's actually a lot bigger than what he's showing in this video. He's not as big as Michonne, but he's longer than Michonne. She's a little more, she has a little more girth to it. He's a male, we understand that, but he eats extremely well. When this guy's on his game, he is like on the money with it, never fails. He takes it down, he grows, and he actually has a very sweet personality. Michonne has a little bit more of a feister attitude when she wants. She's a little bit more bipolar, quote unquote, a little more unpredictable. He's pretty steady, and I like that about him. I love having these carpets, and I can't wait to add a couple more. So let's get into the Tarantula Tag Challenge segment. I was nominated by one of my very, very good friends, Peter. who is also known as Doppelganger 1983. I'll put a link in the description to his channel so you can check him out. And one of the things before I get into the challenge, I want to talk about this guy for a second. There was a group of us who started out on YouTube years ago, almost 10 years ago. Some of us are over 10 years ago. And when just Tarantula community, we were a very small community. And there's a handful of us who are left from when I first started out, which was in 2012. There's a handful of people who were in the community that we were all like this. I mean, we were as tight as a community can be for tarantulas because we were all collectively, with our personalities, getting the word out. That's not saying everybody was singing Kumbaya and dancing and jumping over rainbows, in the community. There were some beefs within the community. You're always going to have some issues, but for the most part, for me, that was the most exciting time for Tarantula YouTube viewing. And in a way, I almost feel bad for a lot of people who are just getting out now and want to start YouTube channels and trying to find channels that fit for them, because there's so many more. There are thousands more channels than it was when we started out. When I first started out, you could literally name almost every single person who was in tarantulas who had a YouTube channel that were over like 500 subscribers, something like that. When I first started out, when I got my first 100 subscribers off of making tarantula videos, I was shocked and I was welcomed by everybody. Now, and I think over time, because there's so many more people on it now, and this is back in the day when you had to have a camera, laptop, you upload it, and you earned every view that you got. Not that people don't do it now. It's just, it's a little different now because now you have your phone. So anytime something pops up, everybody has, back then, you really had to be like, on your shit. If something happened, you had to get your camera out, you had to film it, you had to put it on the computer, you had to edit it, and now it's like almost everybody, including me, all these vlogs you see, I use my phone. The only time I ever use my camera is when I'm doing something, when I'm outside, or it's a big project or short film, something. I use that for that. I use a different software for all that. So I understand where people come from when it comes to this, but my boy Peter, I like him. We're still good friends to this day, and people like Marilyn Moore and John 3000, and there's a few other ones that I still talk to, who I talked to at the beginning when it first started. If you go back to all my videos, these are the people. If you look in the comment section, they're still here. We're still friends. Marilyn Moore and Peter are two of my best tarantula friends out there. Jay Boxing Bow is another one who's been not just with tarantulas, but obviously with a lot more. But a lot of us we've been through a lot, we've seen a lot, and we're still here, and I like that. So Peter, thank you for nominating me. All right, brother, I love you, man. Let's get into this challenge a little bit. Him nominating me, obviously I never would have done this. I don't think unless somebody nominated me, I wouldn't have seen it, because I'm so busy now, I don't have time to watch videos like I used to. Especially when people say they want this video, they're requesting videos from me all the time. For me to answer that many requests, I don't get a chance to watch as much as I used to. So I have a handful of channels I do watch to keep up on the news, and I'll talk about that in here. So let's get to question number one. Who or what got me into it? Well, I would say getting over the fear of certain things leads me to certain avenues I never thought I'd be on. That's including tarantulas and snakes. Tarantulas, I used to have dreams about spiders and things like that being on me, and having to walk out of my house and my whole grass is just filled with spiders and everything. So in order to get over my fear of spiders, I got my first tarantula. And that's pretty much the only reason why I got it. And it was interesting to me as well. I was watching videos on that point, up to that point. So when I got my first tarantula, I was ready for it. But the first night the tarantula was in my house, I was a little freaked out because I wasn't ready, I don't think, for a... at the time, looking back on it, maybe I wasn't quite ready, but I'm glad I did it, because it got me over the fear. I used to be so afraid of them, and once I got that tarantula, I mean, it took about a couple weeks, and I was completely over it. And then I realized the fear wasn't so much of a fear than it was a curiosity. So I'm very glad that I got that tarantula when I did. It came at a very good point in my life, because I don't like being afraid of anything. Usually, if I'm afraid of something, I'm either curious about it or it's something that's out of my control. And if I can control it, like getting a spider would help that's why I got it. That first tarantula was actually back then it was called a Grammostola rosea. Now it's called a Grammostola porteri, and that's the Chilean rose hair. And $20, got it at a local pet store here in St. Louis that I always go to. And just said, you know what, it's time. Let me just go ahead and get this tarantula. Got everything I needed, brought it home. Yeah, so which is typical. Most tarantula people, most of us, I would say, at least back when I got into it, that was pretty much that was all available for you to walk in the store and spend $20. Now a lot of these stores have a lot more, but I probably would have gotten something different, you know, if they had more of a selection. I was literally the only tarantula that was in there, so I went ahead and got that one. It's actually a good beer too, by the way. If you haven't had, if you're a beer drinker, the Reserve. I've been looking for this one. Nice beer. Favorite species? If you've seen any of my videos in the past, you already know what that is. That's a Poecilotheria metallica. Poecilotheria metallica. Again, P metallica. Everybody's saying it different now, so. P metallica is my favorite species. It was a species that got me looking into tarantulas that weren't New World and terrestrial. The P metallica is the one that got me really interested in old worlds and arboreals, and that was kind of my bridge into that, because my P metallica that I got was actually one of my first arboreals. I think I had a P camera at the time. I had a couple other ones, but yeah, I went ahead and I just said, let's just go ahead and get it. Let's get the P metallica, yeah, that's definitely my favorite species. Mine matured out about 3 years after I got it, so that sucks. So I'm still on the hunt to get another one. Once I had it, in fact, let me show you guys something. I'm over here. I normally edit that kind of stuff out, but I want you to see just kind of how quickly I can get to some of my stuff. Oh yeah, that's my Spider-Man shirt on too, by the way. Yeah, I went ahead. This is one of my malts from my P metallica. Yeah, this was my very first P metallica. This this malt was probably one of its final malts before it matured out. He was a big guy, relatively speaking, for a male. So yeah, I definitely miss this guy. His name was Millennium, and I love this guy. He's featured in a lot of my channels, and I'll put a link in the description to a couple of them if you guys are interested in seeing my mature male when he was alive. I'm gonna get another one, but to be honest, I still haven't gotten over this guy. He's been dead 2 years, and he's the only one I have framed. So favorite species, yeah, really miss that guy. Here's if you have a drink in your hand, drink to my buddy Millennium. Miss that motherfucker. My dream tea, I would say, is the one that I've been wanting for forever, and I don't care if it's the Apophysis, the blonde, or the Goliath bird eater. The tea blondie is what I've been wanting for forever. Now, I don't mind getting just the Goliath, that's fine, but the tea blondie, oh man, those tarantulas, the size that they get, and just how beautiful they are, they're, to me, are the beasts, kings and queens of the tarantula community. I mean, to get an animal that big, and a spider, or a tarantula I should say, that's one of my ones. I would love to get a blondie or a Goliath, a giant Goliath bird eater. Those tarantulas are just amazing, and unfortunately I don't know why I haven't pulled the trigger on them yet. Maybe that'll be a goal for this year. I am proclaiming right now, before the end of this year, I'm going to try my best to get one of those giant Goliath bird eaters, or, you know, the blondie, one of the two. That is one of my goals for this year, is to get one of those finally in my collection. I've been wanting one of those since I started out, and it's well overdue. So yeah, I've got to get my hands on one of those. Those are my dream teas, just because of the size, and I don't feel like your collection is complete over your time span of keeping them. That seems like that's one. If you really love tarantulas, for me, that's one of the ones. I'm like, that is the one thing that's always been missing from my tarantula collection. It's one of those foot-long Goliaths, man. Them things are fucking gorgeous. How many tarantulas do I currently have? Well, currently I have, I would say probably around, I got some slings that somebody gave me. I haven't really done a count on it, but right now it's probably around 25. I'll say 25. I had a lot of mature males that died out. I mean, I went through a mature male carnival ride, you know? And it sucked, because when you get these tarantulas and you wanna share them with people, you know, and over the course of their lives, and you get one, you're like, oh, just like that, they're gone. And you know how long it takes for some of these tarantulas to get back up to a size where you where they died, where you left off in your life. So you have to kind of go through the whole process again, which is fine. I'm not a sling guy. Now this is what's so crazy about it, because this adds into the number why I have so fewer. I used to have, you go check my other videos, I used to have around 65, 70 tarantulas. But a lot of those came from people, you know, giving them to me, and a lot of people, I used to order in bulk. You know, I ordered 10 of them at a time, and because a lot of slings don't survive, some of them it takes forever, so it upped my odds of actually getting more tarantulas that would make it through the whole lifespan. So I would order 2 at a time, mainly because of that and the fact you don't know if you're gonna get a male or not. So I don't do that anymore. So my totals have gone down. Now when I get a tarantula, I have a rule: it has to be over 2 inches. If I pay for it, if somebody hands me one or donates me, of course I'm going to take that one in, regardless of size. But yeah, it's I don't know, unless it's 2.5, 3 inches, because of where I'm at in my life. I enjoy raising them as slings, but I enjoy raising them from when they're a little bit a good size up, because the stress level goes down a little bit and it doesn't take as long. I don't power feed any of my animals, so I'm not trying to get my tarantula to be adults. You know, I don't believe in that stuff. So I enjoy them right around 2.5 inches up. So, and obviously they're a little bit more expensive and harder to find with certain species. So that's why I have 25 in my collection currently. Time to feed one. I have no idea which one I'm going to feed, but I'm kind of eyeballing my Haitian brown bird eater. I'll see if she's hungry and see if we can get a feeding in with her. Alright, this is Raven. She is a Phormictopus concertes Haitian brown bird eater. And we're going to see if we can get her to eat something here. She's in a 10-gallon tank. It's a little bit on the dry side, but she does not like it overly wet. So I kind of just wet it right by her hide a little bit. Let's go ahead and see if she'll take something here. See if she'll take 2. Excuse the knock. If you hear that knock outside, that's just my uncle-in-law banging away at the new fence he's putting behind my house. So, this girl, as you can see, she is the greediest tarantula in my collection, which is why I thought I'd go ahead and feature her in this video. And I know she will never ever disappoint when it comes to that. She's probably around 6 inches long, maybe a little bit over 6 inches. Her abdomen is, if you look at it, she molted a while back, and she has still been putting on a little bit of size as far as her abdomen goes. But again, I do not power feed my tarantulas. They eat once a month, all my tarantulas, unless they're under 2.5 inches. I feed them once a month. That's just my personal preference. I know other people out there do things differently, and that's completely fine. That is all incumbent on what you want to do with your tarantula. As long as they're happy and healthy, you do your thing. But I do not like power feeding mine at all. I like to feed them about once a month, and that works out pretty well for me, because for the most part, if I feed them any more than that, they don't feed once a month. They'll start going off, and then I have to figure out how to get them back on schedule, whatever. So once a month, they always eat. I've never ever have a tarantula, even if they're in pre-molt, don't eat if I do it once a month. If I do it more than that, I get tarantulas don't want to eat, and they go on very, very long fasts. That's just what I've experienced in my collection. Once a month is more than enough for what I feed them. And you see, when I feed them, she'll probably take these 2 down, and she'll be happy for a month. And if I see, obviously, that they looking like they're hungry, they need to fatten up, then of course I'll intervene and go ahead and jump in and feed them. But yeah, this is my Haitian brown bird eater, and I'm gonna go ahead and close this lid, because this is one of the tarantulas whose hairs gives me trouble, and I can already feel my skin crawling and my hands itching. So I'm gonna go ahead and leave it there. And this is just a quick look of her enclosure, in case you were wondering what it looked like. Very standard setup. She's got a hide. Again, she likes it moist into her hide, so I kind of pour it down and let it flow into her hide, and that's where she hangs out in there. She likes her humidity in her hide. And then I just keep it drier on the outskirts here, and when she wants a little drier, she'll come out on this side. When she wants a little wetter and a little more damp and humid, she'll go on this side. And she's been doing great in here. Obviously, these tarantulas get pretty big, and she's got a lot of growing to do still. She's not full-grown adult female. I would say she probably has at least another inch to put on, if not more. So, yeah, definitely one of my favorite tarantula species is the Haitian brown bird eater. Favorite tarantula YouTube channel? There are a lot. I already named off a few in the beginning that I watch because not only because they're good YouTube channels, but for tarantulas, but they're also my good friends. To be honest, like I said, I'm a homer. I stick with what got me here. I stick with people that I started off with. So, number one, John 3000. If you haven't seen his Mythbusters series on tarantulas, you're doing yourself a disservice. And I know people say, well, a lot of those are outdated. He won't update them. Take out all the scientific name bullshit and just look at the tarantula talk that he gives. Trust me, there's some benefit in it. Go check out John 3000. Marilyn Moore, that's my girl. I love her. We've been there since the beginning. My boy Peter, who nominated. You want true, raw, good people. Peter, Doppelganger 1983. Check him out. I'm telling you, he doesn't make as many videos as he used to, but I like that. No offense to anybody who does it all the time. I like when people don't upload all the time. They go away, they come back, because then you can see the continued passion. It's been all this time, and he doesn't make them all the time, but he comes back and he does something like this challenge, and I appreciate that. Marilyn Moore does like monthly updates. John does his thing, you know, on kind of on the schedule, and I'm kind of the same way. I'm not a person who I like to document and upload everything that I do, because I'm spending too much time trying to enjoy it. I'm not saying, no offense to anybody who does that. Trust me, that's me. That's what me and the people I just named. That's what we do. Again, these are people that I started out with, and we all ironically kind of do the same thing, right? So, yeah, I'm kind of sitting on my porch a little bit with my beer rocking and saying I miss the old days. I know I laugh like the Joker. That's just what happens when you're filming when you have family members right over here. Other exotics that I own. I'm actually reading off a little pad here, by the way. So if I keep bending, if the shot comes up and I'm like this, I'm not doing anything weird. I'm not, you know, just checking out my notes here. Other exotics that I own. Yeah, quite a bit. If you've seen my channel, if you haven't, subscribe if you want to see more of my animals. I do every Wednesday is Hump Day right now, and that'll probably be something I continue to in the future. I'm kind of liking this once a week thing. Yeah, bearded dragons. I have 2 bearded dragons. I have a cockatiel. I have an African fat-tailed gecko. I breed leopard geckos. I have corn snakes, ball pythons, 2 carpet pythons, obviously. I used to have frogs, I had scorpions, I had turtles, I had iguanas was like my thing. I had a few iguanas when I was a teenager, and I miss having them in my collection, but I had some mean iguanas, so I don't really mess with the iguanas so much. There are certain animals I want to experience in my life, so I try to keep evolving myself as an animal person, trying to, you know, accepting new challenges. My next one that I would love to get, I've been wanting to get it for so long. The conditions have not been right in my house for it to even happen, and that's a chameleon. That is something in the future. It's one of my favorite lizards, but I've been putting it off and trying to get as much research as possible before I get one, because it's obviously a little bit different than keeping, you know, bearded dragon, stuff like that. Favorite all-time tarantula is P. metallica. By far, nothing has ever come close to that. I would say a close second is green bottle blue, the Chromatopelma cyanopubescens. Love that one. And Chaco Goldney, Grammostola pulchripes, pulchripes, people say that different. Chaco Goldney is definitely one of my favorite ones out there. And there's a few other ones. The one that I just got, I'll have to put a picture up. I just got this new one, the Panama Blue. Panama Blonde was one of the ones I've been looking for forever that I wanted in the Salmopoeus genus. And I finally got one of those. So that's the the summer poet's poker is one of my favorite as well. So we're gonna keep an eye on my Panama Blonde Summer Poet's Poker Atomic as I attempt to feed her for the very first time. And after she eats this one, I'm gonna go ahead and rehouse her, and maybe she'll be in the next Hump Day video. But we'll kind of keep an eye on this as the video goes on and see if she decides to go ahead and take this one down. I got her about a week ago from when this video was made, and she had molted, so she's definitely due for a feeding. She's very skittish and probably won't take this down on camera, but we'll keep an eye on it and come back and see if she actually takes it down. So I have quite a few. I'm an arboreal guy more than a terrestrial guy. I'm more of a old world species guy. I love those guys. You know, another quickly, just a side note. One of the things I love about tarantulas is the fact that it is something you can do for a lifetime, and because they have such little maintenance, and people think, like, if you don't have snakes and stuff, you think like tarantula maintenance is like, it's nothing compared to snake maintenance and lizard maintenance. You know, I mean, a tarantula is fun because you can put them in there and just enjoy them year after year after year, add all these beautiful species into it. Oh my god, that's why I love them so much. And I think having snakes makes me appreciate them more because they do their own thing. They're so self-efficient and independent and don't need your fucking help to survive. I love that. And it's been great, you know, just talking about it. I have to think about it sometimes, just how wonderful having tarantulas are. As you can see, Atomic did take it down, so it's good to see her first feeding. I've been waiting for her to get her first feed in my care so I can rehouse her out of this into a critter keeper, so she can do her thing. She's a little bit too big for this. Well, I guess she's not too big, but like if you've seen the other video, when the webs are connected to the lid, and I bought it like this, that's a problem because when I lift the lids up, I lift her and everything else out of it. So she needs to come out so I can do some general maintenance. And I'm not a huge fan of deli cups once they get over 2 inches, and she's a lot bigger than I thought she was when I first got her. So yeah, it's good to see that she ate, because she seemed a little reluctant. I tried to feed her a couple times for this and she didn't take it, so just a cricket I threw in there, and it's good to see that she's going to be doing well. So who I want to nominate? I'm late in the game with this tag. As you can see, somebody nominated me. I told you I probably wouldn't even have done it if somebody hadn't nominated me, but my nomination is going to go to a group of people. If you're watching this, even if you're watching this 2 years from now, I don't care. If you have under 50 subscribers, I'm nominating you to make a video, even if you never have made one. If you've never made a tarantula video, my challenge goes out to you. Make a tarantula video, tag me in it, let me know that you did it, and I'll make sure that people see it. I'll share it, and I'll put it on my channel and let people view it on my channel, if that's what you want to do. Because there's a lot of people out there, I get comments all the time, I wish I could make tarantula videos, I wish I could make tarantula videos. Just make it. Make it, let me know that you made it, send me the link, I'll view it, and I'll put the whole segment on my channel, if that's what you want to do. Now, I know a lot of people are so shy that you probably never see it, because a lot of people say they want to do it, and then they don't do it. So that's my challenge. I want all you people out there who are in the closet and don't want to come out and share your tarantulas because you're afraid nobody will watch it, or you're afraid that you'll mess up. Don't worry about that. Just make it. Even if your channel is about, you know, ribbons, or, you know, showing clouds in a time lapse, who gives a shit, right? Make your tarantula video and let everybody see your tarantulas, and you answer these questions for yourself and get involved in the community. Because once you make that video, you're in it. You know, it's as simple as that. That's why I love the tarantula community. Once you make your tarantula video, you're in it, and I'll be more than happy to let people know that you made your video, and I'll be more than happy to share segments of your video on my channel on a Hump Day video. Hope you guys enjoyed this Hump Day. I know I enjoyed it. It's always fun hanging out with you guys. I'll see you guys on the next one. Until then, be safe, take care of yourselves, and have fun with your animals, and make sure that you are experiencing them and everything that is great about them, which is obviously, like I said, experiencing them and not being so wrapped up in the fact that you can gain something from them. That's my little message that I've been trying to give the people out there. Interacting with them is the best fun part of it for me, then sharing some of that is great, but what you guys don't see are all the best parts of why I love keeping exotic animals. So see you guys for the next one. Take care.